So, very good morning, everyone. In a minute or two, we are going to start the webinar. And before we begin, I'd like to state a little bit of the decorum of the webinar. At any point, if you are having some doubt, you can raise the question. I mean, your hand so that you can ask the question. Side by side, you can use the text box for writing text questions. I'm your host. I'll be replying along with the expert. And at the end, towards the end, we will be providing a question answer session so that you can share your question, you can ask, and uh, we'll try to answer at our best. To begin with, let
Who
me,
can we start?
yeah, sir. To begin with, let me introduce our speaker of the day, Sri T.H. Prameswar Singh, Executive Director, Nelit Imphal. He is also looking after other centers at Aizawl, Kohima, and Agartala. He has a vast experience in IT. He had worked in NIC for more than 20 years, and he joined as a director of Nelit Aizawl. Later, he also worked as director of Nelit Kolkata, and presently he is the executive director of Nelit Imphal, and also look after various centers in the Northwest. Today, as we know, due to the COVID-19 lockdown, many of the people, especially the teachers community, are facing lots of hardship in continuing the academic activities. Especially people are using lots of ICT tools, technique to carry on their online teachings and learning. So in order to understand some of the things that being a teacher should know in the age of ICT, I would like to welcome our Executive Director, Sri T.H. Prameswar Singh, to deliver the webinar. Sir, please.
Thank you, Bubu. And good afternoon, a very good afternoon to all the participants. And I hope I'm audible to all the participants. And as rightly said by Mr. Bubu, the COVID-19 pandemic, the global pandemic, is an opportunity for all of us. So, whatever the lockdown protocols given by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, and the various other countries in the world, we cannot run away from the COVID-19 pandemic. We cannot hide from the COVID-19 pandemic. This all you know. So this is we have to convert this particular situation to our advantage. So thinking this in our mind, keeping this in our mind, we in NIDIT in FAL thought that we'll try to organize a webinar session on things which we need to know for online teaching, online learning during COVID-19, maybe post-COVID. And this COVID-19 or maybe different pandemic, there is no guarantee that it will not come in the future also. And you all agree with me that the world is connected. Is a global. The globe now is a connected village because of the technology, because of the IT, because of the web, because of the internet, which you are well aware of. But fortunately or unfortunately, we are still confined to our classroom-based teaching. And it is high time that we migrate from the classroom base to virtual classroom base or rather online based teaching and learning. And that is why we thought that we must organize this webinar And another thing I want to announce before the, I will announce at the end of my talk about the webinar. And so, friends, I hope you will agree with me that in today's globally connected world, the globally connected economy, in a globally connected economy, the data, the data is increasingly the center of our universe. And everything is starting to look like a computer. I mean, what I mean to say is that computer is omnipresence, and there is not a single component where IT or IT enabled services are not there. Be it your refrigerator, be it your oven, be it your mobile. So all are computer enabled devices. Now the question is the job of the future. The job of the future are expected to be very different from what they are today. So we have to be prepared ourselves. And as you know, India with a population of 1.5 billion, so has an advantage because we have working. I mean, we have young population who are eager to work and eager to learn new things. That is where the new technology has to come into picture. The teaching community and all of us has to embrace this new technology. The benefits which are to be given by the technology has to be taken. So, so we thought that lockdown hamper, lockdown disturb our teaching and in our classroom teaching. So we thought that we must take you to half an hour or 1 hour, in telling you the what is online teaching and learning kind of thing. You all are maybe aware of many various platforms, and we unfortunately cannot have a one-to-one interactive session with you. And you all also agree with me that in your school or colleges, there must be a component of IT, I'm so sure. But are we effectively using the component available in your school or college? I doubt. The reason being, today, I will say, today the use of technology in education sector remains limited and fragmented. Even with budgets for implementation, educational institutes are often stuck with piecemeal application, resulting in creation of silos only. As a result, technology used by teachers, students, and parents rarely interact with each other. I mean to say, the technology which you are using are not interacting to each other. So the big opportunity lies in connecting all these strands together. That is what we are attempting. And the beauty of technology, in fact, you will agree with me, is that, in fact, if we implement technology, the we can request the participant to unmute their mic and ask any questions if they want, instead of raising the hands. No?
Sir, we can do that, sir, but they need to raise their hand so that I can give the presenter permission to them.
Okay. So they can raise their hands, then
Yeah,
you
sure.
can unmute. We are about. Babu, it's okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's okay. Loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. I mean, we can make it an interactive session also with all the participants if they desire. So I was telling the fragmented use of technology. So we are using technology in one way or other, but they are all fragmented and it's not connected. No, it's not connected properly. Uh, so uh, if if any if let us create a scenario where we are going to I mean wired everything in a school or college. I mean the processes of admission, the process of reservation of the room, the process of transportation of the students, classroom learning, examination system, class note, assignment, timetable, academic calendar, academic record. And if we bundle this and in a easy language, I should say, if we computerize and automate this, and I'm sure this will improve the learning and teaching process of the institution. And in fact, this will not only improve the learning process of the institution, and this will be very beneficial for the less privileged. Because a technology powered education experience has the potential of reducing dropouts and improving their chance of building more fulfilling lives for them. This is a proven. This is a proven. What I am saying, this is a proven is that if you if you look at the no, I mean the changing technology, the cloud is now becoming a service model. The network is being transformed from fixed function to open standards, and the proliferation of edge devices is recasting access to education. And one great example I want to share with you is that the TCS Ion has become a great technology enabler for students and educators alike. It enables anytime, anywhere, any device learning on the cloud and has reached nearly 3.2 million students. Similarly, EggStep, an education foundation established by Nandan and Rohini Nilkani, has built an open source platform for teachers. A range of startups in India, including Baiju, UN Academy, Vedantu, and others, have raised billions of dollars in funding to make a substantive impact on different aspects of education ecosystem. Friends, to create a positive impact, technology must go from being disconnected solution to more connected platform. And the new emerging technology like artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality are coming into the this today's digital learning platform, and we are converting from the online teaching to digital learning, then to immersive learning kind of things. So it is we are not very late. We have to start now and adequate by given a chance that we give the right platform to our youngsters. I'm sure they will be able to face the challenge which the India is facing, particularly the Northeast, where there are many barriers, there are many difficulties in the Northeast in particular. And I would like to share with you that the government of India has already started the artificial intelligence in schools in the CBSE from class 8, 9, 10 onwards from the 2019-20 session onwards. This is a very good start by the government of India. And similarly, India's first artificial intelligence skill lab was set up in Delhi, which is also a very good enabling start by the government of India. So similarly, if we work together, if we come together, and I'm sure this COVID-19 pandemic effect we can convert to our advantage by embracing the upcoming technology and this webinar. So we will try to share some thoughts on what are the things? We presume that you all have access to internet. We presume that you all have a smartphone, and we presume that you have a computer or a laptop or notepad or notebook, something you have. That is why we thought that we must discuss the online teaching methods, online teaching platforms during this COVID-19 lockdown and maybe post-COVID also. So we have So the agenda for this today's webinar is we have converted. I mean, divided into three brief background. Brief background. To I have already discussed with you in a little, and from our experience and from our finding, we thought that schools, colleges are doing in their own way by exchanging the class notes or assignments by way of sending through WhatsApp, by way of sending through SMS, by way of sending through email or other mechanism. So this is as a digital mechanism. But what we show here is that uh, it's a diverse, it's a disconnected platform. People are using disconnected platform. Where people are using Zoom, people are using WhatsApp, people are using Google Meet, and I mean webinars like what we are using today, WebEx and Microsoft Teams, etc. So there are many platforms available as on today. I mean, whose are all proprietary, but one platform which is, open source platforms are also available. So the idea is to analyze your requirement, to analyze the requirement of your school or college or your community, then you can discuss with some technical persons, technical people, what platform should be suitable for you, so and so forth. That is why we are attempting to discuss with you. So, so the things which you need to know for online teaching platform, communication, this is this is the most important component of any platform, whether it is a online teaching or offline teaching. So if there if we miscommunicate, many things can happen. So, but I am not going to tell the other part of the communication. So, what are the various forms of communications on a particular online teaching platform? That is what we will share shortly. And what are the various the content sharing file, e-content sharing? That is what we are about to inform you. Then content creation. Content creation is where the crux of the online learning and online teaching, lies there. Assessment, of course, assessment has to be there. Assessment, not assessment, how can we verify that a learner has learned the thing or not? And using the appropriate learning management system that I have mentioned earlier in my previous talk also. A appropriate learning and management system has to be used. Now, before I go to the communication uh, channels, various communication modes available for online, I thought I must share with you that you all might have heard of Khan Academy, Udemy, Croatia, and so on and so forth. I mean, the online academy, various online academies are there. Even Government of India, the Ministry of HRD also has the online academy, NPTEL, and various universities, various, central university, state university, or private universities, they all have online academy, online, classrooms nowadays. So online classroom and academies are no different. So here I want to flag among you is that the beauty of online and offline. What is the connection between the offline and online? There is still is a connectivity between the online and offline, which is, in my opinion, the content. The content is still the connecting points between the offline classroom as well as online classroom. But who creates the content? Who creates the content? The teachers, the faculties, the professors, the experts, They are the one, they are the architect of creating the content. So here I want to, rather, I must be permitted to use the word, uh, rather, I want to remind, rather, request all the faculty members who are present in this webinar today to excuse me for my remarks or word if it hurts you. Let us go back to our offline class. A teacher is teaching to 30 or 100 students. So if it is an effective, and if the faculty is quite good, I'm sure the students never miss the class. Similarly, in the online classroom also, online teaching also, and the online academy also, if you can create a content which is very relevant and rich, and I'm sure there will be more hits, more students, more virtual students will come. And the beauty here is that by sitting at home, you can create a beautiful content, and the content can be shared with one of the, online academy like Udemy, uh, Rosea, or Khan Academy, or maybe your own university or your own school, college, sites, where you can charge 50 rupees or 200 rupees for a particular module. This is what the online academies are working now. So if a course, if a course for say 10 hours or 15 hours costs 200 rupees, and if the particular platform where you are writing the content, you are giving the content, you are sharing the content, are ready to give you some revenue sharing methods, let us say 50-50. If out of the 200 minus excess, whatever remains, 50 comes to you. Let us say 75 rupees comes to you. So 75 into 10,000 hits is 75,000. 75 into 1 lakh hits 75 lakhs. So you can become a renowned person because you are already a renowned person. You are already a very good professor. You are already a very good teacher. So you are just taking your knowledge, you are sharing your knowledge to the medium of online, digital medium, maybe a virtual classroom. That is the beautiful part which I interpret like this. Kubo, hello, Kubo.
Yes, sir. Please.
So I think I will cover the first next two slides, and from next onwards you can take over.
Okay, sir. All right, sir.
If any of the audience, if any of the participants has anything to say, we can listen to them now also.
All right, sir. We'll open the floor to the question answer session also.
We can open. We are restricted to 1 hour only.
Not necessarily, sir, but we have target of finishing by 1.
Okay. So I mean, if you want to open the floor, you can open the floor.
All right, sir. I'll text message to all of them.
Please. So Bubu will continue.
Yes, sir. Please.
So coming back to the webinar, so I have shared my view on why we should create quality content and share it. I mean, on the net for consumption by our students. May be free, but everything cannot be free also. So you have to get a price paid for it. So towards this, we should work together to bring the country, to be able to harvest the potentials which our youth possess. So now I will go to my slide. I will start with the uh, communication channels which are available for the online teaching and online learning platform. So we have, we were just sharing you some one, two, three, four, five. Uh, this is not the end. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just a, you know, just to give you a slight idea of the communication platforms for the online. In fact, this is not only for the online learning or teaching. This is also true for a small company, small startup, or maybe one-to-one meeting also. Like, WhatsApp. You all are familiar with the WhatsApp. We can have a meeting in when one-to-one discussion or one to. It is a restricted. I mean, it can accommodate up to 10 or 12. I'm not sure. Who will be able to correct me? And so this is one product by the Facebook, and which are increasingly used by our community for exchanging various messages and social messages, etc. And Zoom is one platform which are very common nowadays because of this COVID pandemic, and it has restricted audience of 100 for the free, for the trial version, rather for the free version, which are not very difficult to install and not very difficult to use. And similarly, Google Meet, Google Classroom are products by the Google, and the same restriction is also holds true for Google. And because their participation size are fixed for the free, like the Zoom 200, and the next Cisco WebEx, which we are using around right now today, is also free for 100. And I mean, if you purchase, and you can have all the privilege of using the WebEx. Then next is the Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams also is similarly is a better version, and this also has a restricted audience participation, and it all depends on how you have to select it. And the last one, the where which looks like two hands clubbed together, is Jitsi, which is an open source, and this is a free actually. This is a free, and we encourage all the schools and colleges to start using open source, and this supports voice over IP, video conferencing, and instant messaging. So this we can attempt. No doubt, if your school or colleges are in the NKN and Cisco WebEx, they are giving free webinar. There is a discussion going on in the government of India. They will be giving free webinar up to September because of the COVID pandemic. So this advantage you can think of taking. If you are in the NKN network, National Knowledge Network of the country, which is operated by which is managed by rather the National Informatics Center, which is again the government of India. Uh, I have covered. about the Zoom. I have covered about the Zoom, Google Meet, Cisco WebEx. If all participant desires, we can share the PPT with all the participants.
Sure, sir.
So I will briefly set the file, the e-content sharing, rather platforms or rather facilities. So WhatsApp is one where you can share your e-content, which we are doing also. But the difficulties in WhatsApp is that if you are exchanging the WhatsApp in a group, it's difficult to trace. Similarly, YouTube, you all people must be, browsing the YouTube and finding what you want to, or you are looking for kind of things. So YouTube is one platform where you can share your content, and email, yes, is one of the oldest version where we used to share our content or our knowledge and our. Then Dropbox is one platform where you can, upload quick files, video classroom lectures, etc. Similarly, Google Drive is one virtual drive offered by the Google where you can upload your video classroom notes, lecture notes, etc. And similarly, there is an iCloud from the Apple. Similarly, there is Microsoft OneDrive from the Microsoft. There are many drives available. The idea here is that infrastructure as a service, software as a service are all available, and you do not require to invent and install it anywhere in your institution anymore. You can depend on the cloud. You can hire a private cloud, you can hire a public cloud, and you can put everything on the cloud. The headache of maintaining your server, the headache of maintaining your network, leave it to the third party who are doing this work excellently. So here comes, before I conclude and before I request Mr. Bubu to take over from here, I would like to share with all the audience that we'll be happy. Elite Imphal will be very happy to provide you free technical consultancy service if you require any setup of e-learning platforms or e-learning LMS in your schools or college or institution. And we are also ready to provide you free space in our server installed at our Elite Imphal, which is backup by 24 by 7 our system, and which is again backup by NKN connectivity. And we have the standby connectivity from the private party also. So I would like to request all the participants, if they are interested, they can send a request, they can send a mail to us, to Mr. Bubu, and we can work together to set up e-learning management system in your respective institutions. So with this, I once again thanks all the participants for listening to us. And I will rather request Mr. Bubu to take over from where I left, because I have another meeting to attend.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
sir, for your valuable suggestions. So I will continue the presentation from where sir has left. We have a couple more slides to go. And in the meantime, you can post your questions and we'll try to answer that also. Just give me a moment for setting up the presentation. Hopefully, I think everyone is able to see my presentation screen. So, as we were discussing regarding sharing of files, some of the tools that commonly people are using are nowadays the most common being WhatsApp because it is available in the smartphone, always carried along with you. So, so there are some difficulty using WhatsApp also while managing the file that has been shared. For example, 1 week back, if you share something, then moving and searching for that is going to be difficult. Another way is, as mentioned by our sir, is email, and it is one of the oldest way of sharing. As attachment, you can share, but due to the limitation on size and the like, big files are difficult to share using either WhatsApp or maybe using email. So therefore, we can also use the cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox. Nowadays, in this COVID era, many of the faculty members are using this thing video content uh, of their respective courses, and we also find that the faculty are also using WhatsApp to share the video content. That is fine, okay, for short videos, but if the videos are big, then it is more optimized if you can create your own channel in YouTube, like media sharing site like YouTube, where you can upload your content and share only the links, and YouTube will optimize the download based on the speed of the users. So therefore, WhatsApp is fast, simple, and secure way of sharing messages, and we can also share this thing files. We can create a group of students and share the files, a very fast way of sharing it. Email again, I think most of us are using email, so instead of going into the step of how to attach file and all, just saying, right, we can create groups. And nowadays, most of the email service, they have various other features like Google Gmail has introduced Google Meet. So apart from sharing your file, you can also use Google Meet with the same account, YouTube with the same account for sharing videos also, and for conducting live classes also. And large files, as mentioned, we can upload in the cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox and share the links only. And I also find that many of the faculty, even though they can shoot a video with their mobile phone, they are unable to upload in the YouTube. Maybe because they don't have the idea of doing that, but it is very easy. You just have to have one Google account, that is Gmail account, and when you log into YouTube with that account, you'll have these features as shown in the screen where you can upload the video. It is just like a drag and drop only from that point. Now moving on, another thing that people find it difficult is creating the content. But digital content creation, I think if you can use smartphone or computer, I think it is quite easy. So our old friend Microsoft PowerPoint is one of the most popular. Right now, the webinar presentation is also created using PowerPoint only. So it's a simple presentation software. Uh, I think it is intuitive in nature, and many people are using it. But the thing is, apart from having a presentation style, you can even have a document style, an SOP kind of thing, or for multi-platform, portability, those files can be converted into PDF format or some other format that can be open in various platforms and the like. So content creation, depending on the type of courses that you are delivering, you can have something like a simple PowerPoint presentation that can suffix, or maybe you may require a very complicated or advanced content, as our sir has mentioned regarding immersive type of learning and all, then you may require a a advanced form of authoring tools like iSpring. iSpring is one of the popular content authoring tools. They can even be able to create very advanced level of immersive contents, including AR and all. Another popular tool that people use is the open source OBS Studio. So recording your voice apart from your screens and your presentation may be a very effective tool. Instead of sharing just a PowerPoint presentation, if you add on a narratives, maybe a video file that shows how the presentation is going on, so that may be effective. One way of doing that is you can of course export your PowerPoint as a video file with narratives, but better still, if you can also do the same thing along with capturing all the screens and all the simulation that is happening on your system by a capturing tool, something like a studio. And an example is the OBS Studio, which is free, open source, and you can download and install and capture the screens. And the best part is you can pause whenever you want. So in Microsoft PowerPoint, it is slightly difficult. You have to go through all. OBS Studio, you can pause every slide, couple of slides, so that you can take a break. Another popular is Adobe Captivate, also is similar and very popular in creating uh, content, so that you can have different themes, different objects that can be incorporated in your, apart from your text, video, images, and various other objects can be incorporated in your um, content. So these are some of the authoring tools. But the thing is, learning these tools may take some time. If you are from the computer science background, you may be familiar with some of the tools. But if you are from the other stream, then you may have to, give some effort in learning a good authoring tool so that you can create your own content as and when you require. So these are some of the content creation and authoring tools. Now, moving on, uh, we move on to the assessment part. Online teaching and learning is not going to be complete if you just give the content. Sometimes teacher need to assess the participant or the student so that the teacher will know where the student is lagging behind. For doing this, there are many free and open source tools available like TC Exam, Tau, VirtualX, and Gladin. But then little bit of technical knowledge is required to install this, as you require a hardware, maybe a server where you can install this on your machines, on your own institute server. You can do that. These are all almost free and open source tools. And compared to the traditional pen and paper testing, most of the online examination system, they are very effective, easy to use, and it saves lots of time. But nowadays, we come across people, they take a photograph of the questions, send it via WhatsApp, and the students are asked to submit the answer of that question again by taking a photograph and to the send to the teacher again. Now the problem is the teacher is going to collect all these photograph, that is image of the answers which has been submitted by the student, and evaluate it again manually. Now after evaluation you have to do grading and result out and all. It is going to be very time consuming effort. So therefore, had the teacher know that there is a something called the online examination system, where you all you need to do is formulate the questions and the timing and other parameter of the test, and automatic examination system is going to take care of the rest, even the correction, grading, marks and all will be taken care of by the system. So if you have large amount of examination to be conducted or large number of students to be participating in the examination system, then we may go for some online sort of examination system is a requirement in time of the lockdown. Now moving on, so all this facility, the communication, the content authoring, the online assessment system, they are sometimes required to be integrated in a single system. So therefore, people have designed a software normally called the learning management system. Not short form, we call it as LMS. Sometimes people also call learning content management system LCMS, and they are an integrated system that allow not only the content delivery and course management, but various other activities also are supported. Some of the example are one of the popular that even our center is using an open source LMS called Moodle, and there are other like OpenEDX, Google Classroom, Canvas are some of the popular LMS people are using. This LMS not only make the delivery of the content easier, but also the assessment, the assignment, the reporting, the monitoring of student attendance, everything is going to be integrated in one single system. So therefore, user management is going to be easy. You will know what your students are doing. You can have a log of what they are doing, and you can create student. You can put them in a course like a classroom, virtual classroom, and therefore, if you are running an institute, then it is very highly suggested that instead of having a piecemeal software running the online activities, you can invest some time and energy on setting up of a LMS that is going to help you in long run. So a principal will know how many classes are going on, how many students are attending the classes, what are the e-content available, what are the other monitoring parameters, which course is going to be completed and when, and the like. So therefore, some of the LMS also support authoring also. So you can create content inside the LMS itself, various type of contents, maybe a web page or maybe different other. So therefore, you can think of LMS as a system that that encapsulate almost all the learning and teaching activities that we encounter in our daily lives. So therefore, if you are already familiar with some of the LMS, then that is very good. Otherwise, please make sure that you spend some time and try to explore some of the LMS that are available. So I'll just give you some of the screenshot that we are using right now. Say our LMS, as mentioned, is based on Moodle, which is based on again, the LAMP technology, or you can say we are installing on our own local server, and it is written in PHP. The backend is MySQL database, and it is very powerful, very you can say very stable, robust, and multi-function features LMS. It can be installed and run for a small classroom to a very big university it can handle. So thousands, lakhs of students can be enrolled in the system depending on your hardware that you have. So it has got a very powerful user management where you can create bulk user enrollment or user creation. You can just create it on the fly, and or you can even allow self registration also. So if you plan to open something like a MOOCs platform, a massive open online, courses platform where you want to have huge number of participants, then you can even allow self account registration, so people can register and they can participate in the course. And another thing is it allow you to have individual profiles so student can once log in will know what courses they are enrolled and they can update their profiles and all, right? They will know what grade they got in a particular assignment and all. It has got variety of user role. Apart from site administration, it has got course creator, manager, teachers, non-editing teachers, student, and even guests. So therefore, a variety of students can come up. So maybe some of our faculty may be a teacher in a particular course, and maybe a non-editing teacher in some other course. And your teachers can be a guest in some other different course again. So it has got different varieties of roles for users. So similarly, course management, you may have a couple of classes that are going on in your institute, or you may have a complete different, say, setup, like a huge number of departments. Say, for example, you may have, arts department, commerce department, and science department. Under that, again, various other, sub department and all. So you can have a categorized all the course using LMS like Moodle. So you can add, remove course, and the best part is you can even do backup and restore. So the courses that you have created, along with all the content and the activities, can be backup and restored in a different a server altogether. So if you are a course manager, course creator or a manager, you can do that. So it has got a huge benefit in managing the course also. You may have multiple courses running, and therefore managing the course, who is going to be the teacher or who is going to be the student and all are almost quite easy. It's a very intuitive, and it has got multiple options for enrollment. You can have self enrollment using a key, or you can do bulk enrollment if you like. So moving on, we have content management. So LMS normally provide lots of activities, and in this particular LMS that I'm talking about, Moodle, it has got lots of activities that you can add. Not only simple a PDF file or a PowerPoint file that you add, but it has got huge number of activities. Say, for example, communication is one of the most important thing that we have mentioned, or respective sir has mentioned in the very beginning. So different type of communication can take place. You may have a phone call or a video chat, but there are other form of communication like chat, text chat is again, or maybe a forum you can discuss, pose a question, and the teacher will answer, or maybe a general forum where even the student can give their own opinion, so people can share information. So like that, you can have different type of communication tool like chat, forum, and database is another for collecting information. And feedback is one of the important thing. At the end of every activity you can have a feedback. So, and Moodle has got assignment, attendance, and third party add-on like big blue buttons where you can have a video live conferencing facility that you can add on. You can have survey, we can have wiki, workshop, and various other. One of the important thing that I like to mention here is the lesson activity. So if you are a teacher, you want to make a part of the teaching for the student to understand. Say, for example, you have 10 lessons and you want the student to move forward after completing some assignment or some assessment, and you want to allow them to view certain pages or certain lessons, then this particular activity called lesson is one of the thing that you can look into. So couple of pages you can create, some other activities like video or image you can add, and after that you can put in sort of a assessment. If the student pass, they move forward. If the student fail, then they move back. Or you can choose the path whichever you feel like for improving the quality of the teaching. So therefore, it's a very interesting thing that you can test it out. And in the earlier slides, we mentioned about assessment, that is online exam. In most of the LMS, they incorporate this online exam or quiz or different form of quiz, and Moodle is no different. Moodle also has got a quiz activity, and you can import questions in different format also. And I'll just come to that also. And therefore, you can have a very good assessment. Online examination can be conducted using Moodle itself, if you have one. And different resources that you can add are you can have ebook, file, folder, and various other pages. And even as mentioned earlier, you upload the video content in YouTube and share the link as URL in Moodle. So therefore, your server is live, and students are happy with the link, so that they can download only based on their speed that they have in a lower frame rate kind of thing. So moving on, this is the assessment features, that is question or question bank, that is available in Moodle. This feature is very good in the sense that you can have a question bank in your this thing LMS, from where you can import, export as and when you require, and you can create a quiz program by randomly selecting a couple of questions, maybe 100 questions from the question bank, and you can categorize, and maybe chapter 1 couple of questions, chapter 2 question couple of questions, and the like. And while creating the quiz, you can have a timing, you can have grade, you can have different layout, one question per page kind of thing. And you can have a wide variety of options to play around with the quiz and the question banks. So it's very good. And you can have a repository of questions in your question banks. And reporting again is one of the important thing for monitoring our student, the assessment of your student, how many students has attended the class or the like. So if you are a principal or in the management, it is very much required that in your online learning, how many students has attended. So this Moodle also support a couple of reporting. So therefore, you can have different views. You can even see the individual participant, so which you can just choose which log you want to see on which particular day. You can select all the day, all the activity, all the student, then you'll have huge number of records from where you can just dig in and find out what is going on in your LMS. So for a particular person or a participant, you can select a particular teacher or a student and see what they are doing in the system. It'll give you all the records. So therefore, this can even treat like a attendance report, and you can know what the students are doing, how many minutes or second they are spending on a particular activity and the like. So if you just closely monitor, you'll find out all who are just skimming through the content or all those who are actually spending some time on your content. So reporting features is available in Moodle. Not only the student and the activities, but also you can add some third-party add-ons and even see the performance. If you are maintaining the server, you can even monitor the health of your server. So I was asked by one of the attendee what server we are using and how many users can be supported. So this is one of the report that you can see. Right now we have more than 2,000 users in our LMS, and peak we are using 16 GB RAM server Xeon 8 core. So here the infrastructure that we are using right now is okay. I mean CPU percentage 1.4 something, memory 12%, storage also we have. So our infrastructure, that is our hardware, is able to cope up with the load that we are right now having. So uh, with this, we would like to open up the webinar for question and answer session. So we would like to know from the attendee whether how many of them are aware of LMS or communication tool or various other IT related thing. If we hope that many of the attendee are already familiar with many of the tools that we have discussed earlier. But if some of you are feeling that you need some technical support to set up, say for example, an LMS, then we at Nelit Infal, as our executive director has mentioned and offered, are willing to provide some free technical support in setting up of LMS. If you don't have the resources, even we can, see whether we can accommodate in our hardware that we have. We have a couple of spare servers available. So if you are, willing to share your information and willing to set up an LMS for your schools, if you are finding it difficult to conduct online examination or online teaching, then we can help in any way that we can. So we can also conduct some faculty development program if you wish. If a couple of you really wants to know how Moodles work or maybe how to set up servers, then we will be more than happy to help you out. So with these few slides, we have, you can say, come to the conclusion of the presentation. So now we can move on with the question and answer session. So if you have, I think I can see some of the hand raised. So I will just give the opportunity for them to ask question. The first one is Sovik Roy. So, sir, I am changing you to a presenter. Just 1 second. There has been some technical difficulty. I'll just check it out. So, uh, one of our attendee, I am passing on the presenter status to him, Tongbram Arpan. So, Mr. Arpan, if you can see, you can ask the question. Mr. Arpan, can you hear? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear. Please carry on.
Sir, actually, sir, if I want to install Moodle, do we need to have public IP for installation of Moodle?
Okay. So you want to install Moodle in your machine, and your question
Yes,
is
sir.
whether you need a public IP. A public
Yes,
IP
sir.
will be required if you want to host your Moodle so that people can access from the internet. But if you are, want to have an intranet scenario, then you can very well install Moodle in your own institute intranet, that is a LAN, and you don't require a public IP for that. But the problem will be the student need to first attend the classes by coming to your labs in your LAN. But if they want to connect from their home, then you require a public IP or a firewall kind of thing through which you can have a VPN connection. But I would suggest that you host it using public IP will be easier.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Akram. So, so let me just try to. Now I see another hand raise. Here is one question in the text. I think I'll just read out the question from Mr. Sovik Roy. Sir, you have mentioned some exam management system. Are those to enable us to put descriptive question to our student? Well, Mr. Sobig, that is a very interesting question that most of the teachers would like to or love to have. We see that most of the online examination are done using some multiple choice or a one word or a one number kind of thing. But nowadays we have come across a couple of system that even have a short answer kind of thing, correction of short answers. But if you want to have a descriptive question to your answer, then the answer will be at this point AI, maybe artificial intelligence, maybe their NLP may be very high, but still descriptive question is slightly the accuracy of the correctness of your assessment using descriptive automatic will be not that accurate, so manual intervention may be required. So if that answer your question, but hopefully in near future we may have a very advanced AI driven online examination system which may even allow you to have descriptive question. So we need to wait. And another question he append is, are these free or chargeable? The online examination system that I have mentioned are all almost free or open source. So chargeable in the sense you need to install on your machine. So you need to have machine, you need to have internet connected connection connectivity and other infrastructure that you need, and that costs money. So you need to have some investment, and therefore if you mean to say whether you can do it for free, then the software is free, but the effort and the other thing you need to pay, you need to buy some hardware. And there's another question from uh, Madam Laren Lakpam Bino Latta Devi to all the panelists. How can I send video content of big size of practical purpose to student without uploading to YouTube? Now, Madam didn't mention big size. What is the size like? So, one advantage of uploading to YouTube that I mentioned was, even though the teacher who is uploading will, big size content, have to, spend the data pack from there. But on the other hand, once it is uploaded in YouTube, the student, while downloading the same content, may choose to download at a lesser frame rate so that they can have a lesser file size. That is the advantage. So otherwise, if you just share it through them through some file sharing mechanism, maybe if you have a file sharing server like FTP server somewhere, then you can upload to that FTP server. Student can download from the FTP server, but then they are going to download the exact size that you have uploaded. So therefore, for optimize, for thinking about the student, so that they can download at a particular data rate that they want at a particular size. If some of them has got a high bandwidth, then they can download the HD version, high definition version, or they can download the normal version, or they can even download a very smaller size version of the video that you have uploaded. So therefore, there are many ways that you can share. One is using a dedicated server like an FTP server that you can share. But the easier way is to, if the video, I'm not very sure big size, how big is it. Some of the services that we encounter, they have some restriction on the size. So I would like, I think instead of instead of uploading directly, I would suggest that you, madam, please decrease the size before doing it. For doing this, you may require some video editing software, and video editing software are very good in reducing the size of your video before sending it without much deterioration in the quality of the content. So there are many freely available video editing tools that can be used to decrease the size of your video. If you have a 500 MB size video or a 1 GB size video, say 1 hour or 40-50 minutes, you have taken a video using your high resolution mobile phone, then it may come to a couple of hundred of megabyte or maybe a gigabyte. And as we know that per day the data pack that people normally have is 1 or 1.5 gigabyte per day. So just downloading your video 1 GB will eat up all the 1 day share of the data pack for your student. So the 1 GB data pack can be reduced to, you can just reduce the video size from 1 GB to maybe a couple of maybe hundred of megabyte, then it'll be better without much losing the content. So I would suggest that it'll be better if you reduce the size of the video, because you have to think about your student and their data pack that they have. Any other question? So you can send your question via. Here is another question. Sir, can you suggest some alternate IT medium for students who have less or no access to internet while teaching online? Alternate IT medium for students who have less means maybe students who are staying in remote area and no access to internet while teaching online. Now, this is one of the difficulty that people are facing. We have students who are from the hilly district, and due to the COVID lockdown, they left hostel. Now it is difficult to share the content with them. So therefore, this is one of the problem, that unless if you think of online teaching and if you don't have internet, then it is going to be a difficult, But nevertheless, uh, we feel that the student may not have 3G or 4G connection there, but if there is a will, there is a way. So the student and the teacher can always connect through phone, most likely. Everyone has got a 2G. All India, we have now almost a 2G connection everywhere. Even in the remotest corner, maybe very few locations may not be there, but almost in the whole country there are 2G connection. So SMS is possible in all. So the good old textbook is one of the best, and communication SMS if there is no internet connection. But if you have little bit of internet connection, then you can have a not very heavy content as such, not video, maybe image or maybe text image combination may be able to provide to your student. Or you can just burn it on a CD or a DVD and pass it on to them. So you can have a computer-based tutorial CBT format, and they can access it. But if you are in the IT and if you can spend some money, then you can have a sharing of this information. You can host in the remotest corner using some low-cost device, and they can access it. But providing the internet service is going to be difficult for teachers, right? Because it is not our capability to provide internet service. We can only offer online teaching. So my suggestion will be the good old textbook is one of the best options. And if they have some laptop or desktop, then you can provide in DVD format. Some people they prefer that way also. To give you an example, Government of India has got a program called NPTEL. So it's a national project on technology enhanced learning. All the IITs have gang up together to create video lectures. Now, if I am from a very remote location, even though the videos are free of cost available at YouTube and various sites, but downloading the videos through a very poor internet connection is going to be very costly and very time consuming for me. So therefore, it will be better if I can get a downloaded version in a hard drive. So I can just procure a couple of terabyte hard drive containing all this and ship to or courier to me in my home. So this is possible. So therefore, our pen drive or hard drive, they can be used for sharing of lectures, especially video lectures with our students. So one day they can come to the school or the institute and collect all their learning material in a form of a storage media like a pen drive, a memory card, or DVD or whatever form that you have available. We may think that may be costly, but in long run that is much more faster, and right away you can have terabyte of information at your fingertip. So there's another question from Aritra De to all the panelists. We are conducting online exam by MSB, but unfortunately we are facing lots of error. Sir, can you suggest any other platform? Well, as I mentioned earlier, if your question in online exam is related to sort of only exam, then I am not very sure if your question is that. But otherwise, you can run the exam online exam through Moodle also. So therefore, I would suggest my suggestion will be please try Moodle and conduct a quiz program and see how does it work. We'll love to hear from you. And depending on the number of users, you may require a better hardware. Say, for example, Moodle will require a minimum of, if you are conducting a quiz program, every user will be, a thumb of rule will be something like 50 MB. So if you have 100 user, then 100 into 50. That many RAM size is required. So if you are going to run the quiz program for thousands of people at the same time, then you require a very good infrastructure. Your servers will be very strong. So, and here the Mr. Sovik is asking for the slide. Yeah, of course, we are going to provide the participation certificate to all the attendee, e-certificate to all at the end of the webinar. Apart from that, we'll share the slides also. No issue with that. Mr. Aritra De is also adding that I am associated with NPTEL and Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad University of Technology. Thank you very much for attending the webinar, sir. We are very honored by your presence. So if there is any other question that anyone can ask, so we are there to answer. If I miss some of the question, so we will also, this session is being recorded. So we'll also share the link where you can see this session again, if you wish to. Some internet problem and there's a question by Dr. Z. Stephen. I missed this part. For your wonderful presentation regarding e-learning, content creation, and LMS, I would like to know how to upload longer video in YouTube. and how to enable to register the user in Moodle LMS via online. So two questions. So I'll answer the first one. Uploading videos in YouTube. Again, I'm not very sure the relative word like longer. So if you have a very big large size, then it may take very long time, but it uploads, right? But I would always suggest that please don't just think about your side. Just think of the other side also. If you upload longer video means the people on the other side need to download longer videos, and it is maybe difficult for them also. Say we in this webinar also we find that many people are talking about internet problem, connectivity problem and all. So how about chopping the video into smaller, you can have a video channel where you can upload couple of minutes, 10-20 minutes videos, part 1, part 2, part 3. That is much more easier for the other people who are going to watch your video to download it. So instead of waiting for long videos to be downloaded, or something like that, so it is much better nowadays. And of course, as mentioned earlier, you can always use some video editing software for editing your videos. There are very good compression tools available that can compress a 1 GB video into a couple of 10 or 20 megabytes. Yeah, of course you may lose some quality, but if it is viewable quality, then it all matters. And the second part of the question is how to enable to register the user in Moodle LMS via online register. Yeah, you can just allow the system to have the self registration or the self account creation facility. That's it. For this, there are two methods. They can fully automatically create the accounts on their own by sending them a activation link, or you can ask them to create the account by submitting the form and manually go and confirm their this thing account. So if you for the first one, you need to have a working SMTP, that is an email server, outgoing email server, from where you're going to send the link for the activation. So the user can provide the email and a activation link will be sent to them, and they can click on the activation link and their account will be created automatically online. Otherwise, if you don't have the SMTP server or the email server, then they can fill up the form and wait for you to confirm it manually. So two ways. And so I think I have answered most of the answer. So if there is any other question that anyone wants to ask, please you can. Uh, there is a Soibam Jiten, so I am changing him to presenter. Mr. Soibam Jiten, if you can hear me, you have been given the privilege for presenter. You can ask the question. Mr. Jiten, are you available?
Yes, sir.
You can ask, please. Go ahead with the question.
It is all right.
Pardon me, please repeat.
All right, sir. Hello.
Are you going to ask a question?
No, all right. It is.
Okay, it is answered. Okay. Anyway, thank you for participating in the webinar.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, then we have another attendee, Dr. Y. Prabhat Batti Devi. So I am allowing her to ask the question. Madam Prabhat Batti Devi, please, the floor is yours. Hello, ma'am. I'm unmuting you. Please ask the question.
No question, sir.
No question.
Sir.
Okay, welcome to the webinar, ma'am. So if
Okay,
there is
sir.
anyone who wants to ask question, please raise your hand. So already we have reached 1:30. So if there is no question, shall we wind up the webinar? Okay then. If you have any other question, you can always. I will send you our email ID where you can contact us. You can, on a later date, if you have come across a question or a query that you want to know regarding online learning or teaching or LMS as such, you can please feel free to drop a line or two on our email. So with this, I would like to thank all the participants who have attended this webinar, 1.5 hours long webinar. And I would also like to thank our Executive Director, Sri T.S. Prameswar Singh, for giving us a valuable information on this COVID-19 lockdown era. So now he has also mentioned that we are offering institutes who are willing to set up e-learning platform, technical supports free of cost, and if possible we are going to provide the infrastructure also. So therefore I would like to thank one and all for participating in today's webinar and making it a success. Thank you for asking question also. Thank you very much. So I'll just conclude the webinar. Thank you very much for participating.